What if you didn't need a massive motorhome to reach places that most RVs simply can't? Because the 2027 Changan Blue Whale Explorer is challenging one of the biggest assumptions in the RV world, that serious adventure requires serious size. This Chinese-built expedition motorhome combines a compact living space with four-wheel drive, low-range gearing, differential locks, a turbocharged engine, and enough off-grid equipment to potentially keep you away from campgrounds for days. And once you see what Changan has packed inside this thing, you may start wondering whether bigger really is better. Welcome back to Z Autos. From the outside, the Blue Whale Explorer looks like a serious expedition machine. It's built around a rugged ladder frame chassis, and underneath that body is an intelligent four-wheel drive system designed for situations where the pavement disappears. Power comes from a 2.0-liter Blue Whale turbocharged gasoline engine producing around 233 horsepower and 390 Newton-meters of torque. That power is sent through an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, giving it the kind of smoothness you'd want on the highway, while still delivering useful torque when the road gets rough. And there's another detail that makes this setup especially interesting. The motorhome stays below the 3.5-ton gross weight limit. But here's where things get surprising. You might expect an expedition vehicle like this to sacrifice comfort for capability. The Blue Whale Explorer doesn't. Step inside, and you're immediately looking at a compact mobile cabin designed to make almost every inch count. Take the bathroom. It's not huge, but that's exactly the point. Instead of wasting space trying to create a luxury bathroom, Changan has focused on the things travelers actually need. There's a roof vent with an integrated fan and LED lighting, a side window with a mosquito screen and blackout blind, a cassette-style toilet, a molded shower tray, storage for toiletries, and a clever faucet that can also function as the shower head. It's a small bathroom, but it doesn't feel like an afterthought. And that's an important theme with this motorhome. Almost everything has to earn its space. Move into the sleeping area, and that idea becomes even clearer. Above the rear bed are 3 large overhead cabinets for clothes, bedding, and travel equipment. There's also an individual reading light and a power outlet beside the bed. But underneath the bed is where things get really interesting. There's a built-in washing machine. Think about what that means on a longer expedition. You're several days into a trip, miles away from the nearest town, and instead of worrying about where to find a laundromat, you can simply wash your clothes inside the motorhome. It's a small feature, but it's the kind of feature that can completely change how practical an extended trip becomes. Large side windows bring natural light into the sleeping area, while warm LED lighting creates a more comfortable atmosphere at night. Then there's the overcab sleeping area. The bed measures approximately 2,000 by 1,300 millimeters, giving 2 adults a usable place to sleep without turning the entire vehicle into a giant bedroom. And above it is something you'll probably notice immediately: a panoramic roof window. 2 additional side windows join it, with mosquito screens and blackout blinds, so you can enjoy ventilation during the day and privacy at night. For couples, individual reading lights are another thoughtful touch. One person can stay up with a book or phone, while the other is ready to sleep. And this is where the Blue Whale Explorer starts feeling less like a traditional camper and more like a compact cabin that just happens to have 4 wheels. But comfort is only half the story. Because when you're building an expedition motorhome, the real question isn't how nice it looks parked at a campsite. The real question is what happens when the campsite disappears. That's where the Blue Whale Explorer starts showing its true personality. The driver's cab has a modern automotive-style layout with 2 large digital displays, a multi-function steering wheel, and a floating center console with cup holders and storage. There's also a 360-degree camera system, which can be extremely useful when you're trying to squeeze a large vehicle into a tight campsite or carefully work your way through a narrow trail. And the open walkthrough between the cab and living area is another practical touch. Instead of treating the driving section and living space as 2 completely separate worlds, the design connects them into one continuous cabin. Now let's talk about the kitchen, because this is another area where compact RVs often force compromises. Here, large overhead cabinets provide storage for food, dishes, and cooking supplies. The stainless steel sink has a glass cover, which means that when you're not using the sink, you can close it and instantly create more countertop space. There's also a separate faucet for filtered drinking water. Next to the kitchen is a tall storage unit with a built-in microwave and a large compressor refrigerator with approximately 148 liters of capacity and a separate freezer section. For an extended trip, that's important because once you're far away from supermarkets, refrigerator space stops being a luxury and starts becoming freedom. There are also large drawers and additional storage underneath the countertop for pots, pans, and everyday cooking equipment. And if you're thinking this sounds surprisingly well equipped for a compact expedition RV, we're not finished yet. Step outside and the Explorer adds even more functionality. There's an outdoor cooking area with a gas burner, allowing you to cook outside without filling the cabin with heat and food smells. There's also an exterior service compartment with an outdoor shower, while 220-volt outlets can power appliances like a coffee maker, kettle, or other campsite equipment. But all of those comforts lead to one much bigger question. Can this thing actually live up to the word expedition in its name? That's where the hardware underneath becomes the star. The Blue Whale Explorer uses a factory-developed ladder frame chassis designed for durability and stability on rough terrain. Its intelligent four-wheel drive system can work with different drive modes, while low-range gearing and differential locks are there for the situations where ordinary RVs start running out of options. Mud, gravel, snow, steep trails, rocky terrain. This is where four-wheel drive matters. And that's why the 233 horsepower engine isn't really the headline. The headline is the combination of engine, transmission, four-wheel drive, low range, and differential locks working together. Because horsepower might get you moving, traction is what gets you home. And Changan hasn't ignored the part that happens after you leave the road either. The body uses insulated sandwich-style panels with an aluminum frame and high-density insulation, helping maintain a more comfortable interior in both hot and cold conditions. Then there's the electrical system. The Explorer combines 12-volt and 48-volt architecture with a lithium battery offering roughly 10 kilowatt-hours of capacity. A 5,000-watt inverter provides enough onboard power for many household-style appliances, even when you're far away from campground hookups. Factory installed solar panels can help recharge the battery when sunlight is available, adding another layer of independence. And then there's water. The standard freshwater tank holds around 160 liters, with larger optional configurations available for travelers who want to stay away from established campsites even longer. Put all of that together, and the Blue Whale Explorer starts making a lot more sense. This isn't simply a motorhome with a kitchen and a bed. It's a compact expedition platform designed around a very specific idea. Go farther without giving up the comforts that make long-distance travel enjoyable. Imagine leaving a crowded campground behind and heading into the Rockies, or taking a desert trail toward a remote campsite, or finding a quiet lakeside location where there are no electrical hookups, no crowded parking lots, and no neighbors waiting on the next campsite. That's the real appeal here. For years, the RV industry has often treated bigger as better. More space, more luxury, more weight, more everything. But the Blue Whale Explorer is taking a different approach. What if the better RV isn't the one that gives you the biggest living room? What if it's the one that gives you the freedom to reach places where that living room normally couldn't go? For American travelers, that's what makes the 2027 Changan Blue Whale Explorer so fascinating. It's still unfamiliar to many buyers in the United States, and availability, pricing, and final specifications for different markets can vary. But the concept itself is hard to ignore. Compact living, serious four-wheel drive hardware, smart use of space, and enough off-grid equipment to make remote travel feel genuinely possible. And now we want to hear from you. If you had the keys to this 4x4 expedition motorhome, where would you take it? The Rocky Mountains? The Arizona desert? Alaska? Or somewhere completely off the map? Drop your destination in the comments. And if you enjoyed this look at one of the world's most interesting expedition RVs, hit the like button, subscribe to Z Autos, and turn on notifications. Because if this is what the next generation of compact adventure vehicles looks like, the future of RV travel could be a lot more capable and a lot more exciting than we expected. Thanks for watching Z Autos, and I'll see you in the next adventure.